Aaron Minichi, Director of Scouting.
Jared Hackmeyer, Scouting Assistant.
Mike Ramirez, Scouting Assistant.
Tony Giovanoli, Scouting Assistant.
All right, we can open up for questions for anybody. Go ahead.
Aaron, I noticed you guys out there, some coaches and some staffers have some phones out there on the field. We FaceTiming with people, showing them what practice is like. Is that one of those tactics you guys use?
Yeah, it is. Especially during stretch lines, flex periods, we try to maximize any time we can get coaches on the phone with recruits. So we got a 20-minute period where they're not running around coaching. We try to have them tap in with some guys, and never stop recruiting.
Has that been effective?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Since we got here, it's been something we've been doing. So I think it's been impactful.
I think there was Tony had an experience where this worked for him recently, but Tommy was talking about continuing to talk to a recruit after they've maybe committed somewhere else and just maintaining consistency in the relationship and not getting mad, right? How difficult is that? And like, do you guys talk about ways to like manage the emotions through that? Because like I imagine it would be very easy to like take it personally.
I feel like it can be difficult at times, but it's a case-by-case basis. Ultimately, you want to help out the prospective athlete, and so it's just ultimately a case-by-case basis. With recruiting doesn't end until the signing period, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably different for everybody, but you got to just understand the game and the nature of the business is that, you're not going to get every recruit that you go after, and they're just kids trying to make what they think is the best decision for themselves. So try to keep your emotions out of it as much as you can. But yeah, it's human nature to let them, leak in at times.
Do you guys have like I don't know, count to 10 before you say something? Like, is there anything you do to just make sure that happens? Any of you guys, like, is there a tactic, or is it just be a good person? Don't get upset.
Yeah, no, I don't think you don't ever want to step out of character and say something you regret. So yeah, no, I don't necessarily have a process though. Just kind of
no 10 deep breaths or anything like that.
We don't lose too much, So,
In a way, does your work really start when you get a verbal commitment? Because you got to get that person to stay in right through signing day?
I don't know if I'd say it starts there, but like it definitely doesn't stop. If anything, it just increases because the second a player commits, they become a bit bigger of a name, a little bit more notable of a prospect, so more eyes on them. But really, I don't think you need to let like the circumstances of the recruitment dictate your behavior. Just be consistent, and how you do anything is how you do everything. So recruit hard from the start all the way through to signing day. And I mean, in today's game, you got to recruit them while you're on your roster too. So yeah.
Can you speak to how Fran kind of just lets you guys be free and the excitement that you kind of have around this, how you get to kind of put your own personality into recruiting?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we'd all say the freedom that Coach Fran gives us, one, from our opinions on players and who we bring to the table, to two, our personalities, our interaction with coaches, the amount of impact we make. Like we're very blessed the opportunities he gives us. So like the fact that we're standing here today, so that's at least, I'd like to think the guys would second that. Definitely lets us be ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Fran even came in the other day because Aaron, he watches with Coach Fran first thing every morning, and Coach Fran came in, said to the entire department, he said, "Come watch with us. Every single one of you. You're more than welcome to come." So it's pretty cool. We get to bring some guys, whether it's one of the top guys in our in the pipeline, or someone who is being overlooked by everyone else, who we say, Coach, I think we got to get on this guy. We get to bring him to the table to the head coach of this program.
How much has the new Lally complex made your jobs easier?
It's not a lot of walking back and forth from all the way from Lally over to here now, and then even eating dinner on one side of the building and the other. So it's been very convenient to our players, to staff, to everyone in the building. And it's been a major upgrade for recruiting purposes. So we've just been really excited about that, and we can't wait to get the season started, having people on campus again.
Yeah, and it makes like communication a whole lot more easier too. I mean, like if you can't get in touch with your coach, you just walk across the hall and then boom, you can just ask him a question.
I think I ask you guys this whenever we get to, but like, any of you guys have like a favorite story on finding a young man, a conversation that sort of turned them to Syracuse, or just like sort of a favorite recruiting story from the freshman this year? Sorry, I know it's putting you on the spot.
You're referring to our freshman class.
The
out
freshman
there
that's
now.
here that you guys are actually able to talk about. Yeah. or not.
I feel like this question was asked last year at some point.
Signing day. Probably.
Signing
probably
day. Yeah, I love bringing up the fact that a lot of our work is outside of the office as well, and it's just one stormy day in Syracuse. That Central New York weather, and me and Aaron are talking about players, and we just come upon Julian McFadden, a receiver from Philly, and just like that, it just kind of recruitment builds up like that, and next month he's committed. It's just recruitment was not big at the time at all, so it was cool to kind of find an under the radar guy, and obviously he's gonna come in and be productive for us for years to come.
Do you remember, were you watching film of another kid, or did you get a call that tipped you off to him, or how did you sort of
So at the time, I think we were just chilling in our living room. I was living with Aaron at the time, and it was a regular day, and Aaron was on his computer, and he's like, yo, come over here. You know who this guy is? And we just started talking from there, and it was literally just sitting on the couch,
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about.
Why were you watching that? Yeah, why were you watching that?
Yeah, I'll tell you really what happened the day prior is we went over our recruiting board for the first time in a little while. Certain things weren't up to par to some people's standards, so it was a Sunday off day, and we were watching film. So that's why we were watching film, because we had to keep generating names and keep bringing up better names, and we were looking for track time kids that can run, and we were like, wow, who is this under the radar kid named Julian McFadden from a very popular program that's right in our footprint? Wow, we got to get on this guy. He's got no FBS offers. That's insane. So, but yeah, it was all because of a meeting the day before where that didn't go too well in our favor. So.
And you guys were looking for speed in particular versus a running back or a wide receiver?
Yeah,
it's really.
Well, really, yeah, not a positional search. Really, just anybody in the footprint that has a track time, that is up to par with what we're looking for.
Enough
So, yeah, 100%. So just trying to continue to generate names that are worth evaluating and going from there. Yeah.
Aaron, for as long as you and Fran have been working in this part of the country, the recruiting footprint has been Canada to the DMV, Georgia, and Florida for speed. Seems like you guys are getting into the Carolinas a little bit more. What's there just an uptick in improvement in that region right now, or?
It's a very talented region. I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's just kind of just how things are happening right now. Yeah, I think there's good talent everywhere. You don't ever want to turn down good players. So when you got a connection somewhere, you got to utilize it. You don't want to turn down good players. So I think you'll see that happen naturally over time. Yeah.
Last one for this group, and we'll get a second group in here.
I think naturally Fran Brown is the answer to this question. So I'm not going to let you say Fran Brown is the answer to this question. If you had to distill it down, what is the most popular reason that recruits commit to Syracuse these days, other than Fran Brown?
Authenticity amongst the entire staff, I would say.
That's really the best answer to give. We're genuine, and just be yourself at the end of the day. We're gonna give it to you straight, what we look for, and ultimately that's how we're gonna pick and choose certain players. But it's just us being genuine and authentic from the start.
Yeah, and even before a player gets on campus, we're making sure every one of the coaches is at least reaching out to them and introducing themselves and getting to know the kid on a personal level even before they touch grass on this campus, just because of how important that is. And we don't want a kid to show up that whether we want to come here or we want to explore the possibility of being a down the line guy. We don't want them to get here and we don't know anything about them. We want to know their parents' names. We want to know if they have siblings. We want to know everything about them, and just so we can connect with them on a deeper level. And that goes for us and every coach on this staff.
Emmanuel Mark, special teams assistant coach. I assist with the running backs, and I'm a recruiter.
Alex Kelly, scouting assistant.
Dyshon Davis, scouting assistant. Stack Williams, scouting assistant with Alumni.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for these guys.
Dyshon's an alum. How do you kind of present that? Have skin in the game, come to Syracuse, you can speak to your experience, and how much do you think that's going to help you in that process?
I think it'll help me a lot. I think it's amazing that I'm back. Not too many players could say that they could come back and contribute to their university. You know, this is home for me. Feels so good to be back. Even just, you know, talking to not just only coaches and players, but, you know, people who've been working here for years, like Kyle, Jim, you know, even down to like the staff that's, you know, helped the team with cooking and food and stuff like that. People in the HR, they still remember my name, they still remember me. So it was just like a good feeling to just come back and just, you know, feel that love like you never left. So, and then, you know, being a part of the staff is just, it's like an overwhelming feeling. Just coming out here every day, pouring my energy into the team, with the coaches, being in the meeting rooms, eating with the team. It's just like, wow, I'm back. You know, and it just feels really good, and I'm just excited to contribute to help this team build in so many different ways.
On that note, there's a few more tools at your disposal from even when you were here, the new facility, and even the improvements happening in here. How much is that helping you guys do your job?
It's helping tremendously. You know, this stuff, I think this was just built right before when I left, so I got to use it for Pro Day, and it's just been beneficial because, you know, it snows and stuff up here. So sometimes when we playing down south and it's maybe, you know, snowing up here, we still can, you know, get inside to get that, you know, get prepared the right ways. It's in a good location for the team. We use it for different things, recruiting. So all the things that been, you know, upgraded since I've been here has, you know, even down to the facility, things has just been great.
Deshaun, can you tell us a little bit about like how this came to pass? Like who called you and when and how you got here?
I kind of like put in. I filled out an intern, temporary job application, and you know, they seen my name and I guess pulled it. You know, I was invited up here back in June for a youth camp. Did well at that, and you know, we just kind of like went from there. So. Yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm just happy to be back here.
Did you see like a job opening? Was it like Indeed.com or Syracuse Athletics?
Syracuse Athletics, you know, kind of got like told from in-house, like, you know, there's a job opening coming up. You should apply. You know, it'd be good for you. You know, jobs is opening up, and it'd be good for you to come and get an opportunity to coaching. And then, you know, working with recruiting, you know, was a very start of figuring out everything and. From far as the recruiting level, coaching and things like that. So I'm just grateful and humble and thankful for having the opportunity to be a part of the recruiting staff.
Tyshawn, we get to choose Syracuse not once but twice. Just what that means to you and what it's like to be here with Coach Fran and the fact that he cares so much about having alumni be a part of the present and future of this program.
Man, like I said, it's like almost one of those things where you sit back and you think to yourself like, dang, this can't be written. Like, you know, this was almost written for me, you know, like being able to come here and play and then come back and coach is like, I wouldn't rather be nowhere else but here and coach nowhere but here. And the fact that I got that call, that opportunity to come back here is like I said, I just feel really blessed and I'm humble and thankful to be here and contribute with my energy and passion.
What had you been doing? Were you coaching high school or where were you sort of at in life?
I just retired 3 years ago. I played in the CFL for 8 years. I was a mentor back at home, you know, working with at-risk kids. That was in the court system. I was a behavior specialist, a teacher at a charter school in the city of Camden, where I'm from. I had my own business, training kids, developing kids. So I was doing a lot of work in the community, and got a call. I'm back here kind of much doing the same thing, but I'm just pouring it all into one thing. So it was like almost like I said, written, you know.
For any of you guys that want to answer this, social media has its faults, I'll put it that way, but it could also be used to your advantage. And with 16, 17, 18-year-olds, you kind of have to speak their language wherever that is. So how much of your time is spent on that, coming up with things to be clever on social media, things that will stand out?
I think we have a creative team, and then like all the different personalities, so we're relatable. You know, a lot of us, Sean can relate to a lot of guys, and Fran still relates to a lot of guys, and we do that with recruiting and calling and texting. But I think everybody pours their ideas into our creative team, and everyone is willing to listen and give their own input in it. And what we've been able to put out, you know, as a collective has been great. But I think it's a little bit of everybody's idea, and no one being too big-headed and thinking they know it all. It's literally everybody's idea, and Fran approves it. So with him being open-minded to the ideas that we put in and him creating some himself.
I was gonna say he seems pretty. He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing.
Oh, you
So
should see
he's
it.
the one
Oh, yeah.
doing it, right?
You should see his music
that
playlist.
helps, right?
His music playlist is top notch, man.
all
Like
that.
whether we're in the weight room, here at practice, sometimes just in the car driving to
watching film,
practice.
you playing music.
Yeah, right. So it's like, I think again, like it's everybody. It's not one person. It's not just a creative team. Austin and those guys do a great job. We can sometimes go in there, give them an idea, give them 3 things, and they come up with the product. And it's like, wow, the kids really enjoy it. You got kids really reaching out and like, hey, can I get one of those graphics? And fortunate enough, they're good enough players to actually.
And they
get
usually
it.
over deliver with the kind of
Absolutely.
content that they get. I mean, sometimes like we ask for a graphic and it's like, oh, you can do that, you can add that to it.
Absolutely.
And they do a really good job. So.
For each of you, when it comes to relationships, that's what we hear here, is that this program is dedicated to actually building relationships and not being transactional, but caring about the recruits on the other side. Just what you can say to being a part of a culture that believes in relationships over transaction.
Yeah, I think it's essential, that being the foundation, especially with, us being conscientious of the landscape of recruiting and college sports and all the things that's taking place. It's very important that that's our foundation when it comes to being authentic and genuine and having an organic relationship with the young people. We have a vast range of different types of people on our staff in terms of ethnically, different socioeconomic backgrounds, just overall, and it helps when it comes to the communication style, when it comes to, we're parents, husbands, things of that nature, so that helps because now there's a different level of care involved. And so we do with young people, and so when we establish and maintain relationships, it's from a sincere, genuine place. And so ultimately we do recognize that there are some areas in college sports that may be a little tainted and things of that much. But Fran has done a phenomenal job in making sure that from the smallest details of like when we're offering a young person, we make sure we get the parents involved first. Right, that's the policy. Like, make sure that parents are involved with that process first and foremost, because a lot of coaches, they contact the kids, and that's their first point of contact. When we like to contact the parents as our first point of contact, and that's coming from the top down. So it's very important that we establish that relationship.
Has it always been that way, or has that become like more important with like money, like
I think it's just been the standard. Fran is really good at communicating. He literally says all the time he has a genuine relationship with everyone on the staff, like everyone, and even those that are on the staff that he hasn't had one with, he takes the time, and it's important for him to build that with that person. So there's nobody on the staff. I think he said it in a lot of interviews where he doesn't just call everybody family because everyone isn't family, but because he puts that time in, invest that time in getting to know a person, know their family, their whys, and certain things like that, he actually can consider. So I walk around and literally can talk to anybody on staff because we've established that. So I think it's just the standard. Once he came here, that's who and how he is. Especially, I've known him for over 20-something years. I actually went to college with him, and the consistency in who and how he's been that kind of guy. So seeing it pour into the staff and how he's been now, I think that's where it comes from, and everyone kind of just naturally adapted to it.
Take 2 more for these guys. I know some got to watch film.
for anyone, what's your favorite part about the Lally complex that makes your jobs easier?
I'd say our office is definitely more spacious and kind of just gives us more room. And then it's just kind of built for us to conversate and more TVs, stuff like that. And just it's convenient to be more around the coaches and kind of get from place to place more efficiently. So.
The people. It's the people, man. You can have a building as big as you want, and if you can't get along with the people you work with, then the building doesn't matter. So the people, literally, Daishawn I've just met, and he's one of the guys I feel like I could genuinely call to about anything I have personally or whatever, and I think that goes throughout the staff. But yeah, that's just as a short answer, because I want the other guys, it's the people that make the building what it is.
I think when you look at the incredible history of the university, with things like Syracuse 8, and then just looking at the dynamics of our leadership here, it's a beautiful institution and what it stood for, and then the Lally, what they've done was incredible. And so it allows us to attract some phenomenal athletes to our program, and we're able to communicate certain storylines that have taken place. There's literally a timeline in the hallway where you can see all the amazing accomplishments that took place from the early 1900s all up to date. And it's incredible what has happened here, and I'm really proud that we even have an opportunity to work for the institution here. And so the Lallies and everything that this institution stands for has been absolutely phenomenal. And so part of the great things about, operating in that building, it brings forward the history, the rich tradition that exists within this institution. So it's truly an honor to walk every day and I'm from Connecticut, and Floyd Little is from Connecticut. And there's actually a center in New Haven, Connecticut called the Floyd Little Center, where my children ran track and played basketball in there. So it's pretty cool for me, especially with some of the guys that have come from my state, to Bucky Jones, Dwight Freeney, other people as well. And it's been an honor for me personally. So the Lallies just, that facility just kind of reminds me of all the wonderful things that it's contributed to myself, along with everyone else here as well.
Dyson, you're an example of this because you're here literally. But could you take me into the resurgence in the past couple of years of alums and their feelings about the program, getting involved in the program? We saw Dave Jacobs here today. It just feels like you guys have been given, the slate's been wiped clean in a way, and there's been a welcome mat, so to say, for you guys to come back and be a part of this thing.
Well, one thing that, made me commit to this university was the history, and this university has something like a brotherhood that's like no other, no matter like what year you played or when you played, you feel connected to the current kids that's playing and the former players that's played. And it's like that from, when I seen Dwight Freeney. And when he was playing for Arizona Cardinals, he didn't know nothing about me or nothing, but I was just like, hey, what's up, Dwight? I went to Syracuse, and it was just like immediately love, so it was like, it's something that the alumni is wear proudly on their shoulders. We take it very serious when it's about, we stand on brotherhood, looking out after each other. Coming from this university, I think one thing unique about this university is when you graduate, there's so many connections and people that's, willing to help alumni, and they actually care about their brother being successful. And I think Fran talks about that a lot. And something that's important to him is, when the kids that leave here, they're never going to be in a situation where they may need a job, or they're never in a situation where they feel like they're going to fail, because they, put the work in here, and they have the resources and connections, and they network with so many people here that's going to help them. So beyond just that, it's just like the historical and the football things that we did. Syracuse has been known for years of a good football program, and we had our our ups and our downs throughout the years, but now we're back up, and Syracuse is back, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited where we're going, and like I said, I'm just blessed to be back here and contribute in every way I can.
All right, thanks guys.